The Western world has made the holidays so screwy. Really, we got Christmas, which we celebrate as our biggest holiday, and really without Easter, Christmas has no relevance. I mean, yes, Jesus was born of a virgin, and that's a miraculous thing, but had he not died, there would be no new life. It took his death, but then better than that, his resurrection to new life, to bring the freedom we have. That is the good news. Christmas doesn't matter without Easter. Every story in the Bible leads up to and tells the purpose of the gospel. The gospel is translated, the word gospel is translated as the good news. And every story in the Bible is good news. When people are raised to life, when people who can't have children get pregnant, when people that don't have food get fed, all these things are good news because Jesus, who was here at that time, brought new life to all those things. He's still here. He still lives with us, among us, in us. Do you know that? These events took place 2,000 years ago, and they've been passed down through hundreds of cultures, languages, and generations. And we lose a lot in translation. If you don't believe that, go to a Spanish grocery store and ask the clerk for something. That is an interesting situation to take place, let me tell you. Especially if you don't know any Spanish. But even if you do know some Spanish, you may be able to get your point across and understand what they're saying enough, and them understand what you're saying enough to get what it is you want. But you definitely will not know every single word. Every single word in the Bible is relevant and active and alive and important. So we can't lose things in translation. Or listen to conversations that your kids are having on the phone, or texts, or posts they put on social media. You will fully understand what losing something in generational translation means, because things we said that were cool back in the day are no longer cool, and your kids or grandkids are quick to tell you, Grandma, we don't say that anymore. So you lose things in translation. And I believe that's why God has given us the Holy Spirit as our translator, who lives right in us and translates everything to us. Every word, every fact, and every story in the Bible and in our culture today are all empowered by the good news. The good news is that Jesus is alive. Every lame man walking, every blind man seeing, every motion and every emotion. Sometimes the lame man walking has nothing to do with somebody's legs. You could be crippled by 1,000 things. I was crippled by drug addictions for years, and now I can walk. I was blind to love and life and reality, and I can now see. My emotions were all mixed up. And every motion I took, every avenue I took did not lead me in the right direction. All that has been transformed. And that's because Jesus is alive. And that's what Easter's about. This is why every time you read the Bible, it applies to you in a different way. You ever read a verse and be like, man, that is perfect for this situation. And 10 years later, 3 years later, 2 months later, you read it and you're like, wow, that's perfect for this situation. But something about it is totally different. It's because it's alive. And it's alive because of Christ. And therefore, it's able to be active. It's able to be active in our circumstances all the time. Listen, until Easter, the miracle of Christmas was really just a virgin having a baby. But the resurrection of Jesus brings life to us in a new way, and it brings certainty to the fact that that is the God of the universe, that is the promised Messiah, our salvation, our hope, not just some baby that was born to a virgin. This Easter season, right now, I want you to purpose in your heart that if you don't know Jesus, if you don't have a relationship with God, that you'll start asking, God, if you're real, show yourself to me. God, I need to know if this stuff is for real. God, help me see who you are. Any kind of prayer that comes to your mind, God is guaranteed to answer that prayer. I promise you. And if you have a relationship with God, then act like you know the good news. That Jesus rose and he conquered death, hell, the grave, poverty, sickness, addiction, bad relationships. All the sin that's in the earth has been conquered by the power of the life of Jesus Christ. Start living as the healed, whole, happy, productive person that his life purchased for you. The life of Christ purchased that for you. When he was raised to new life, you were raised to new life. So I want you to look at that this day with a new excitement. Happy Easter. Love you guys so much. It's important that we have a read. It's amazing. I've experienced. Take your feelings to him. You can do it. It'll make a difference.